Hi guys, so welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be doing a run through of all of the Blu-rays and 4Ks that I picked up in the month of May 2022. So yeah, that being said, I'm just going to get straight into it with some of these titles. I'm very pleased with the bundle I got this month. A couple of nice box sets in here as well as two 4Ks. So yeah, that being said, first movie I picked up was actually a bootleg of a Netflix movie that came out a couple of years ago. Picked up on Blu-ray, Mudbound. Yeah, this was a really good movie for me. It started off quite slow, but the final act of this movie, I was like, where's this come from? It just really took off for me, and I just really enjoyed it. I just thought the pacing of the final act was just great, and it was just a massive surprise. Really underrated movie in my opinion, and yeah, I just thought it was fantastic. So yeah, that is the first movie I picked up this month, Mudbound. Next up, got a couple of titles from CEX. As I said, some of these movies I picked up this month I've not actually seen yet. So yeah, these would be completely first time watches for me. That goes for this first movie that I picked up from CEX. So I picked up Joe Cornish's Attack the Block. I've heard mixed things about this movie, some good, some bad. I don't really know too much about it. I know John Boyega's in it, I think Jodie Whittaker's in it, and Nick Frost. I know it's directed by Joe Cornish as well, because I was a fan of the stuff he did with Adam Buxton. But yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this movie a go. Never seen it, don't know anything about it really. But yeah, it's going to be a first time watch for me. So yeah, that is Attack the Block. Next movie I picked up from CEX was T2 Trainspotting. I'm a big fan of the first movie, and this to me was a worthy follow-up. Not as good as the first movie, but I still enjoyed it. I think that first movie is quite deep, quite profound. But this movie sort of had a generic sort of story to it. But I still enjoyed it. I still had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, just thought I'd upgrade it to Blu-ray. So yeah, that is T2 Trainspotting. And next up, I picked up a Christmas movie. Not watched this yet, obviously, as I'm gonna sort of wait till December to give this a rewatch. But it's a movie I watch every year. So I picked up Jon Favreau's Elf. Yeah, looking forward to giving this a rewatch in December. As I said, it's a movie I watch every year without fail. Not going to watch it anytime soon though, just because it's obviously not the right time of year. But yeah, going to give it a watch come Christmas time. Yeah, it's one I enjoy. So yeah, that is Elf. These next three movies I picked up from CX, and all three of these movies were 50p each, so I couldn't really say no. So the first one I got was a movie I actually saw on Carlino9's top 10 Bruce Willis movies, and this was one that came up that I hadn't seen yet. So for 50p, couldn't say no. Picked up Tears of the Sun. Never seen it. All I know is it's about sort of like this military squad who go in to try and get this doctor, but they won't leave without certain members of the place where they're being held. As I said, I'm not too sure what this movie's about, but I'm looking forward to giving it a watch. It's Bruce Willis, so yeah, looking forward to checking this one out. So yeah, that is Tears of the Sun. Next up, I picked up Easy A, again for 50p. Had this on DVD for the longest time, wanted to upgrade it to Blu-ray, so for 50p I couldn't say no. And yeah, just think it's a good, funny movie set at high school. So yeah, it's what it says on the tin. I like Emma Stone. I think she's great. So yeah, this is one for me one of her movies that I just really enjoy. So yeah, that is Easy A. And the next one I picked up for 50p was a movie that a good friend of mine actually, he really likes this movie, but I've never seen it. It's with Daniel Radcliffe, and that is The Woman in Black. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. As I said, I've never seen it. I heard there's some good scares in this movie. But yeah, I've heard the original's pretty good too. So if I like this version, I'll pick up the original. But yeah, other than that, I can't really add much more comments to it just because I've not seen it. So yeah, that is The Woman in Black. Next, I sort of finished off a TV show I've been collecting recently. So yeah, I actually won a competition at work. So I won an Amazon voucher, and I picked up the 7th season of Dragon Ball. So yeah, big thanks to the guys at work for that competition win with that Amazon voucher. So yeah, this is what I spent the money on. Picked it up just to sort of head on completing the Dragon Ball Z series. I have been watching Dragon Ball. I've watched the first 4 seasons, and it's an absolutely fantastic show. So I'm looking forward to checking out Dragon Ball Z on Blu-ray when I get around to it. So I picked up season 7, and to finish that off, I also picked up season 8 and season 9 as well. So yeah, I've got all the Dragon Ball Z now. Really looking forward to checking this show out. And yeah, it's a weird one for me because it's a childhood staple, but it's a show I've never watched. It's just a show that was constantly on and around, but I never sort of gave it the light of day. But if it's anything like Dragon Ball, I'm hopefully going to be impressed with it. So yeah, that is now the complete Dragon Ball Z. Next up, I picked up just some movies that I hadn't seen before that I thought I'd give a watch. Some of these I had and upgraded them. I got a couple of John Carpenter movies this month as well. 3 on Blu-ray and 1 on 4K. But yeah, that being said, going to get into this little mini bundle now. So the first movie I got was Final Score with Dave Bautista and Pierce Brosnan. My good buddy Mike over at Cinema Axeman, I think we were out at HMV in town, and he brought this movie to my attention, and I thought, yeah, well, let's give this movie a go, see what it's like. We both liked the movie Sudden Death with Van Damme, and this pretty much was the same movie, to be honest. Yeah, it is what it is. It's dumb fun. It's not winning any awards, but yeah, it was a good sort of 90-minute entertaining movie that was just dumb, really. I can't give it any higher praise than that. So yeah, that is Final Score. Next I picked up another movie that was sort of recommended by Mike on his channel, underrated movies. So I picked up and watched Fire in the Sky with Robert Patrick. Yeah, I really did like this movie. I liked its cast. I liked its premise. It was just interesting to see these actors in this movie about their friend that gets abducted by aliens, and he shows up a bit later on, and you then see what sort of happened on the ship. And yeah, I just really liked it. I just thought this is pretty good. It didn't blow me away, but for what it was, I was still impressed by it and had a good time with it. So yeah, that is Fire in the Sky. Next up, I picked up an Arrow title. I got Nightmare City. I've been talking with Jason Brett about this movie, and he said it was really good right up until the end. And without spoiling the end, I can completely see where he was coming from. Yeah, the zombies in this movie are just absolutely relentless. It's pretty much this plane lands and zombies get off the plane, and they're using weapons and are just absolutely beating the shit out of everyone. The zombies look terrible in it, but that's part of the charm of the movie. And yeah, it just escalates because it just goes batshit insane. But the ending it's a cop-out ending. It really is, but I kind of like it in spite of that ending. You know, it actually has the balls to do that cop-out ending. But yeah, it's a movie I'd never seen before, and it's one for the Arrow collection. So that is Nightmare City. Now, next, I was apprehensive about picking up this next movie, but I was talking to Soph from Sophie's Retro Revival, and I know how much she loves this movie. And for me, this movie is one of my most hated movies of all time. I cannot stand this film. But having said that, I haven't seen this film since I was at school. And anyone who knows me, anyone who watches the streams with on Playtender Guys channel on a Wednesday knows how much I don't like this movie. But I thought I'd give it a go, try and watch this movie through a set of adult eyes. Maybe my opinion of the movie will have changed. I picked up Bugsy Malone on Blu-ray. Um, yeah, as I said, I've not seen this movie since I was at school. I couldn't stand it at all. It's just not for me. But I haven't given it a rewatch yet. I'm going to. I'm going to watch it soon. Hopefully, I want to like this movie. I want to like every movie, but yeah, it's just it's a big pill to swallow at the minute. Unfortunately, giving this a rewatch because my memories of it are all negative. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a rewatch. I'm gonna see what it's like, and hopefully my opinions change. So yeah, that is Bugsy Malone. Next up, I picked up a movie that we were talking on one of the streams. I think it was with Ash and John. And this movie came up. I think we were talking about favourite Tom Hiddleston movies, and I hadn't actually seen this movie, so I thought I'd give it a watch. Haven't seen it yet, but picked up High Rise. I think John said that this was a bit of a weird movie, so I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. Really do value John's opinions about movies. So yeah, really looking forward to giving this one a watch, seeing what it's all about, and hopefully I'll like it. So yeah, that is High Rise. So yeah, picked up a couple of John Carpenter movies now on Blu-ray. So the first one I got, I actually picked this up at CX. This is one that I know isn't considered to be one of his best movies. Picked up Memoirs of an Invisible Man with Chevy Chase and Daryl Hannah. I like this movie. If I'm totally honest, I like it for what it is. I know John Carpenter didn't really get along with the cast of this movie. I think he was just sort of coaxed into making it, and yeah, it's not one of his best movies. I mean, it's far better than Ghosts of Mars and the Ward in my opinion, but yeah, I do still enjoy it. I do still get a kick out of it, and some aspects to it are very interesting, but this is nowhere in the league of Big Trouble or The Thing, or Halloween. This is mediocre Carpenter, but I do still enjoy it, to be honest. I do still get a kick out of it. So yeah, that is Memoirs of an Invisible Man. And next I picked up a movie that was sort of brought to my attention by Keith from Euphoria Pictures. We were sort of talking about John Carpenter movies, and he mentioned that he picked this one up, so I had to have a look at it myself. And when I gave this movie a watch, I had so much fun with this film. It was just, yeah, I just loved it. So I picked up John Carpenter's Body Bags on Blu-ray. This is a great little anthology movie. I think Carpenter sort of directs about 60% of this movie, with the rest being directed by Tobe Hooper. Yeah, I loved it. John Carpenter is essentially the crypt keeper in this movie, and he's going through these three sort of tales about horror. One sort of about a gas station where there's a killer on the loose, one sort of about a guy who's getting paranoid about losing his hair, so he gets this sort of new hair treatment, and the third one's about a baseball player who gets in a car accident, loses his eye, and he gets an eye transplant, but the eye is actually from someone who is a serial killer. And yeah, those stories aside were fine, and I really did enjoy them. But what is the best part about this movie? It's John Carpenter as this coroner. He is so funny in this movie, and you just absolutely fall in love with every scene and every second he is in this movie. And I just had a blast with it. It was right up my street. I just enjoyed the hell out of it. It was so much fun, and yeah, it just, for the entire time of this movie, I had a smile on my face, and I just enjoyed it so much. So yeah, that is John Carpenter's Body Bags. And the last movie not the last movie I got on Blu-ray from Carpenter was a TV movie he directed. Now, this is one I'd never seen before. I think I've seen all of John Carpenter's movies now, but I picked up Someone's Watching Me, which was a TV movie, I think from the late 70s. Now, there is unfortunately nothing about this movie when you're watching it that tells you that it's sort of directed by John Carpenter, other than it's directed by John Carpenter. There is nothing when you watch this movie that, John Carpenter, that his fingerprints are over. It's just, it's really bland. I think this is very much like a TV studio has come up with a film and they just needed someone to direct it, and just Carpenter was available. I don't know. There's just nothing about it to me that says it was directed by Carpenter, other than his name's in the credits. It's such a shame. There are some sort of creepy moments into it. There's a scene where the woman's on the phone, and you see someone run in the background of the flat. That stuff's that stuff is quite creepy. But other than that, I just couldn't really get into it. I was expecting a lot more from it. I don't know. Maybe I need to give it a rewatch. But it was a tiny little bit of a letdown. I mean, it's still good, but I just expected a lot more. So yeah, that is Someone's Watching Me. So we're going to get into some of the more recent releases that came out over the last month or so. So I picked up Jackass Forever on Blu-ray. I'm hopefully trying to go and get the first 3 movies on Blu-ray as well. This movie was so much fun. It was hysterical, just couldn't stop laughing the entire time. I just had an absolute blast with this movie and just enjoyed it. It was great to see this cast back, and some new faces as well. And yeah, as I said, it was hysterical. I just absolutely loved it. From start to finish, just couldn't stop laughing the entire time. I just thought it was great. So yeah, that is Jackass Forever. Next I picked up a Kenneth Branagh movie, a sequel to the Murder on the Orient Express, as it were. So I got Death on the Nile. I was a bit apprehensive about giving this one a look, because I didn't think Murder on the Orient Express was a fantastic movie. I thought it was good. So I was thinking, the sequel's probably going to dip in quality, but no, it was still pretty high. It was still on par with it for me. I think the 2 movies make a great double feature for like a Sunday afternoon or something like that. But yeah, these bring sort of Agatha Christie movies about Poirot. The only sort of other sort of Poirot, media I'm familiar with is the David Suchet stuff. But I have never seen a Murder on the Orient Express film prior to watching these movies, or a Death on the Nile movie prior to watching these movies. So I was going into them pretty fresh. And I've got to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed the twists. I really enjoyed the big reveals as to who did these murders. And I just had fun with them. They are what they are, They're not breaking any new ground in my opinion. But they are still enjoyable. There is a charm to them. But yeah, they are what they are. They're not movies I'm going to go back to a hell of a lot, but I still enjoy them. They are good fun, as it were. So yeah, that is Death on the Nile. And next I picked up was the newest Pixar movie release. So I picked up Turning Red. This movie, it's not one of Pixar's best in my opinion. This to me falls into the bracket of Brave and Monsters University and The Good Dinosaur. Those types of movies. It's not the likes of Toy Story or Inside Out or Up, Finding Nemo. Those great ones. This was just fine. Nowhere near as bad as Cars 2. But yeah, this was fine. This was good. I still enjoyed it. I was still entertained by it. I thought the final act of this movie was great at this sort of pop concert where all the pandas show up. I just thought it was a lot of fun. But yeah, on the whole, the best word to describe this movie, I think, is okay. It's okay. It's not, amazing or anything like that. It's just fine. Yeah, that's all I can really say about it, really. But I'm glad to have it in the Pixar collection. I'm hating these new Disney Blu-ray cases, these really thin cases, because it just messes up with the rest of your collection. But it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, Turning Red was just fine. It was okay. So next, I picked up two movies that I haven't actually seen yet. So the first one I picked up was Uncharted with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. I've never played the video game, so I've got a feeling that if you play the video game and go into the movie, you might like the movie a lot less. So maybe I might benefit from not having played the video game. Very, very similar to when a movie gets adapted from a book. You know, usually if you've read the book and then you go see the film, you can leave the film disappointed. It could sort of harm that experience, but I'm hopefully going to give this movie a watch. I've heard it's like a fun treasure hunt movie or something like that, so I'm going to go into it, give it a watch and see what I think. So yeah, that is Uncharted. And sort of the last standalone Blu-ray that I picked up this month was a movie I've pretty much heard nothing but negative things about. The Matrix Resurrections. Yeah, this was in a deal with Uncharted, so I just thought, I've not seen it, I'll pick it up. I haven't seen it yet, I haven't given it a watch yet, but I have heard very bad things about this movie. So I'm looking forward to giving it a go and seeing what it's all about. So yeah, that is The Matrix Resurrections. So going into the last sort of Blu-rays now, I picked up a couple of box sets. So the first box set I picked up was the Friday the 13th collection from Scream Factory. So yeah, I grew up on all of these movies probably at an age that I shouldn't have. I think I must have been about 12 or 11 when I got into these movies, and yeah, I love them, even the bad ones. Give you a look at the top there as well. There's not much on the bottom, but yeah, here's all the spines as well. So this pretty much contains the first 9 Friday the 13th movies, Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and the remake from 2009 as well. So yeah, there's about 12 movies in this set. Absolutely fantastic to get these movies all together in one big box set. The only downside is it is region 1. You do need a multi-region player to watch these movies. But yeah, I have an absolute blast with them. They are all so much fun. As I said, even the bad ones. You know, Jason Goes to Hell is one of the worst movies ever, but you know, it is what it is. You know, it's that movie is what it is. But yeah, Jason X is a lot of fun, even though it's terrible. Freddy vs. Jason is just, yeah, batshit crazy. And the remake of Friday the 13th, that is single-handedly one of the best cinema experiences I have ever had watching a film. That movie was like going to see a stab movie. Like at the start of Scream 2, the crowd was just rowdy. It was just a perfect atmosphere. They weren't taking the movie too seriously. The cinema was packed. It was great. But yeah, I'm very, very pleased with this set. I think it looks stunning, and I'm very, very happy with it. So yeah, that is the Scream Factory release of the Friday the 13th movies. So the next box set I picked up was from Criterion, and I picked up the Showa era of Godzilla movies. So yeah, this has all the movies in it from 54 to 75. The only Godzilla movie I have seen from this set is the first movie. I've never seen any other original Godzilla movie. I think the first Godzilla movie I saw was the Roland Emmerich one, which I know amongst hardcore Godzilla fans, that movie is trash. But yeah, I thought I'd give the Criterion release of it a go. As it is, it was on sale, this movie. I think it goes for about £200, and I got it a lot less than that, shall I say. But yeah, I think there's about 12 or 15 movies in this set, and they're all your discs in it. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. Pick this up because I recently at Christmas time picked up the Gamera movies, and I had so much fun with them. I thought they were great, those two Arrow box sets. So again, I spoke to Jason Brett and sort of sought advice and said, asked him whether this set was set was worth picking up, and so pointed me in the direction of his video. And yeah, I just, after watching Jason's video, I really did have to sort of, pull the trigger on this, as it were. Trouble is, and I think a lot of people who have this set sort of have the same issue. Where'd you put it? Yeah, it's one of those that I'm just, I think it looks stunning, but I don't think it's very practical. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking these movies out. So yeah, that is the Godzilla The Show It era. So those are all of my Blu-ray pickups. Going into the 2 4Ks I picked up now. So again, another John Carpenter movie and another Scream Factory release. I picked up Halloween on 4K in these lovely sort of hard boxes that we get. The actual case itself comes with reversible artwork, so on the other side of this you do get this artwork. I've opted for the original artwork because that to me is just so iconic for the movie. But yeah, these cases, I just think, they've got like a nice hard feel to them. They're just superb. 4K as well, being region free, I just couldn't say no to these. I do have Halloween 2 on the way, and I'm hopefully going to pick up Halloween 3 as well, because I only really like the first 3 Halloween movies. They are. I've got 2 and 3 on DVD, and those DVDs are pretty much unwatchable, in my opinion, especially Halloween 2, because that movie just skips now. But yeah, I'm going to start to probably just going to get the first 3 on 4K. Maybe pick up 4 and 5, depending on what mood I'm in. But yeah, definitely going to pick up the Halloween 3 at some point. So as I said, 2 is on the way, and for now I've just picked up Halloween 1. So yeah, these sets just look phenomenal. This is a seasonal movie for me as well, which I watch every Halloween. It's a fantastic movie. Just absolutely love it. Masterclass in sound design. The music in it is flawless. Everything about it, the movie just oozes and drips atmosphere, and yeah, without even a drop of blood, if any, in the movie, it just looks phenomenal and is terrifying at the same time. So yeah, that is John Carpenter's Halloween on 4K. And the last 4K I picked up was more of a recent one. I picked up the Arrow edition of Wild Things on 4K. Now, the movie itself, I don't think this is a great movie. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's a competent movie. But I don't think it's breaking any ground with it. I think the elephant in the room with this movie is how raunchy this movie is. My God, is it raunchy. I think I said on one of the Pete streams that obviously this movie stars Denise Richards and Neve Campbell. Neve Campbell had it in her contract when she made this movie that she wouldn't do any nudity, so Denise Richards pretty much has to pick up all the slack, as it were, in this movie. And when those scenes get raunchy, my word, they are raunchy. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Matt Dillon, you absolute lucky bastard. Yeah, it's just one of the best scenes in cinema, shall we say. But yeah, I have a lot of fun with this movie. It is what it is. It is very, very raunchy. It's very over the top, but yeah, it's a great release from Arrow, and yeah, it's just a fantastic 4K. But this is what is putting me off from 4K now, is that they're not coming with the Blu-ray discs. It's just it's a little thing with me, and I think I'm sort of starting to see it with other collectors. It's really, really annoying not getting a Blu-ray with the 4K. It's gone down that road very, very quickly, which is a shame. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this movie out in full on 4K when I get round to it. So yeah, that is Wild Things from Arrow. So yeah, that being said, guys, those are all of my Blu-ray and 4K pickups for the month of May. So yeah, I'm going to leave the video there, guys, and say thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.